Up with KREM begins now.
Good morning. Welcome to Up with KREM. Happy Wednesday morning. I'm Nicole Hernandez. We want to get you started with weather this morning with our meteorologist, Thomas Patrick. Thomas, is it the same today or are things a bit different?
I would say it's mostly the same, but probably just add a couple degrees. Both in terms of the morning cooler weather, but also the afternoon warmer weather as well. Right now it's 53 degrees. This is about 5 degrees warmer than it was at this point yesterday. And I do think we'll end up about 5 degrees warmer this afternoon. And now that we're expecting high temperatures in the 80s, this is starting to push territory, not quite record high, but like 12 to 15 degrees above average is very, very warm for late September here. Though our temperatures range actually quite a bit across the board this morning, from as cold as 36 in Deer Park to as warm as 64 in Moscow. So a mix of some cooler spots and more mild locations first thing this Wednesday morning.
And we're taking a live look at traffic now at I-90 and Jefferson this morning. That is a beautiful looking sunrise on the horizon there. We are still about 30 or so minutes away from sunrise, and you can see there are more cars on the road now than there were an hour ago, but still not too many. I'm looking at our traffic maps right now, and the only spot that's showing even a tiny bit of backup is that Highway 53 right near Prairie and Beck Road. Other than that, though, things are looking really smooth if you're heading out the door this morning. WSU head coach Jimmy Rogers talked to the media yesterday, just days after one of his players was shot at an Apple Cup after party. Rogers said when he got the call about Falialo being shot, it was scary. Rogers says he and his team visited him in the hospital, and they're also offering counseling to any team members who need it. The coach didn't say exactly what he told his players, but he said it came from the heart and from his own experiences.
Be a sounding board for them to speak to and really grow and open themselves up and not feel like you're not tough or not a man just because you have emotions.
Coach Rogers hopes the rest of Falialo's recovery goes smoothly and that the team will be able to move forward from this. We also learned yesterday the man accused of shooting Sone Falialo turned himself into the King County Jail. He is 20-year-old UW student Ja'Cory Buchanan. Now he's waiting for extradition to Whitman County on 1st and 4th degree assault charges. Buchanan's attorney says he acted in self-defense. In a statement, the attorney says Buchanan and his cousin were attacked and brutally beaten. He says Buchanan's cousin is in Tacoma right now in a hospital in critical condition. He has a broken rib and a punctured lung. As for Falialo, he went into surgery after being shot in the stomach. Officers arrested a Spokane woman for first-degree malicious mischief. She allegedly vandalized 16 cars at a downtown auto dealership. Now, this happened last week at a dealership on West 3rd Avenue. Officers initially got a call about an argument. The argument then escalated because one of the people started throwing rocks at cars in the parking lot. She left the area before police got there, though. Officers were able to comb through surveillance footage and identified 34-year-old Katie Sims. Officers found her the next day and booked her into the Spokane County Jail. She allegedly caused an estimated $100,000 in damages to the cars. New this morning, the USDA Forest Service is investing more than $8 million into parts of North Idaho and Montana. All of this to help reduce wildfire risks. $7.5 million will go to the Idaho Department of Lands, and then little over $1 million will go to Missoula County. The money is part of a $200 million grant that is going to 58 projects across the country. Last night, Jimmy Kimmel was back on air with his late-night TV show. During his monologue, the comedian said there was nothing funny about the killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk and that he did not intend to blame any groups for the shooting. CBS News' Jared Hill has more about his return.
At times emotional.
It was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man.
Jimmy Kimmel made his return to late night with a passionate defense of free speech.
I want to thank the people who don't support my show and what I believe, but support my right to share those beliefs anyway.
Last week, ABC suspended Jimmy Kimmel Live following criticism from FCC Chairman Brendan Carr and TV station ownership companies Sinclair and Nexstar over Kimmel's comments about the man charged with killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Announcing Kimmel's return, ABC called the jokes ill-timed and insensitive. Just an hour before last night's broadcast, President Trump, in a scathing post on social media, said the show had bad ratings, accused the host of being an arm of the Democratic Party, and appeared to threaten to sue ABC again, alluding to a defamation suit he settled with the network last year.
That is un-American, and it is so dangerous.
But millions couldn't see the show, with Nexstar and Sinclair preempting Jimmy Kimmel Live, blocking it from nearly a quarter of American households. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Today, Avista is doing a virtual public comment session about proposed electric rate increases. If approved, Avista says a typical customer would see an increase of 4.1%, or about $4.50 per month. The hearing is tonight at 6 p.m. over Zoom. You can find the link to the meeting and more information on the Washington Utilities and Transportation Commission website. It's under the Public Input and Events tab. Also happening today, the Spokane Low-Income Housing Consortium is hosting a community housing event. They will talk about possible ways to strengthen Spokane's housing future. The event is from 3 to 4:30 this afternoon at the Unitarian Universalist Church off of Wistocks. Well, today, Ferris High School in Spokane will dedicate and name their track after a coach who made a huge impact on the community. Herm Cavanis was one of the first staff members hired at Ferris when it opened back in 1963. He coached track and field even before Ferris had a dedicated track to run on. Over the decades of coaching, his teams won state titles and his athletes became All-Americans. But what he is remembered best for is his dedication to bringing out the best in everybody he coached.
You know, under Herm, I had an enormous success, as well as a lot of other athletes who were here. He inspired me to do things I don't think I ever would have been able to do without his guidance.
We go many places and I'll hear someone say, "Coach Cavanis," and unbelievable, he will remember many of those. And just a talent, or whatever you call it, he had. Not only could he remember the students, but many times he could remember their times, how high they jumped, and so he just enjoyed the kids that he taught and coached.
Today, Ferris will honor the coach's legacy by naming its track the Herman Lee Cavanis Track and Field. The dedication starts at 2:30 this afternoon at Ferris High School, and the community is invited to attend. It's Battle of the Bell Week out in the Meade School District. It's a yearly battle between the Meade Panthers and the Mount Spokane Wildcats. KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones is live this morning from Union Stadium. But Brandon, this year's battle has the two rival schools also coming together, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Good morning, Nicole. Two rival schools coming together for a Battle of the Bell, and you'll have to forgive me if I'm getting a little cold out here, you guys. My jaw's starting to shiver, so the words, they may be a little bit tough, but I've got someone here with the Meade School District, Todd Zeiler. Thank you again just for joining us. We're talking about Battle of the Bell, and it's all, again, for a good cause this year because they're coming together, two student bodies, to raise donations, raise food for the Meade Food Bank. Can you talk a little bit just about how proud that makes you as someone with the Meade School District to see these students working together?
For sure. I mean, this is a huge week from a sports standpoint, but it's so cool to see our leadership students from the two high schools come together. And while there is a rivalry going on around football and volleyball and slow pitch softball and all that, they're still working together to do something to give back to the community. And we're just so proud of them, you know, looking at it through that lens of like, hey, this is a week where we've got a lot of eyeballs. The community's really invested. Everybody's excited, especially about the football game on Friday. So, you know, let's do something to give back to the people that are in our community with the Meade Food Bank. And it's just a really cool deal that they've kind of made a yearly thing, and they've been doing it for the last couple of years, and it's really fun to see.
Well, I love, again, we talked about that pride, and you know who's proud of this community? Kirby Monahan. He's actually the founder, he and his wife. with the Mood Food Bank, and he texted me something because they've been around for a while, and I had a chance to speak with him on the phone yesterday. An amazing guy, and he just wanted to have a statement. They couldn't make it out this morning, but he said, "We are very honored to be the recipient of food donations from the Battle of the Bell. For many years, we have been fortunate to have a great relationship with the Meade School District. Many thanks to all that have supported us over the past 29 years. So they're making a huge impact here in this community. And again, you can help with that impact at the game this Friday. There's going to be a tent set up. We'll be speaking with some of those students a little bit later around 7 a.m. this morning so they can tell us their perspective. But Todd, thank you so much just for speaking with us, and we appreciate you. We'll toss it back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Brandon, and Todd, of course. Well, it is officially fall, but did you know fall could actually be Spokane's shortest season? And we know summer and especially winter seem like they last forever in the inland Northwest. But Thomas, you did the math. Why is fall our shortest season?
Yeah, and I think it has less to do with fall and more to do with the seasons around it. It feels like summer lasts maybe a little bit too long in the season, and winter is just outright our longest season. Of course, all this feels a little bit subjective, but I wanted to put some data to this feeling that fall is our shortest month. And for that, I looked at our average high temperatures kind of around this time of year. And we actually do peak late in the summer season in late July and early August. And we bottom out early winter near Christmas. So all that leads to October being the singular month where we lose the most heat. We actually drop 18 degrees in a single month on average, which is by far the steepest drop of the whole year.